Good morning over the Hillagers. There's my goat on a rock. That's Ingrid, my female Swiss Alpine goat. And that is Sunny, my purebred Arabian gelding. Gelding, for those of you who aren't horse people, is a neutered male horse. And that thing on his face is a fly mask. Just keeps the flies off. He can see perfectly fine. And this is my miniature horse, whose name is Mary Legs. This is my male boar goat, Brutus. I don't know if you can see over there under the tree scratching her neck is my Icelandic, purebred Icelandic mare, which is a female horse. Her name is Gilda. She's a little itchy right now because her very thick winter coat is coming out. And down here, at my feet, always at my feet, is Dakota. This is my beautiful, beautiful ranch manager. And last but not least, Ryder. He is security on the ranch. He's my Catahoula hound. Anyway, this is my pasture. And today I want to talk to you about sharing space, which is something really important that I learned when I was back just starting to work with wild mustangs and learning from some amazing teachers, human as well as horse, on the importance of simply sharing space. Horses are great teachers. Horses look for the easy way in life, and they depend upon each other, and they're very good at reading each other's energy. So anyway, back at this time when I had just started working for the Wild Horse Rescue, or I was volunteering, and I had a very young Mustang in a pen, a small pen, and she had never been touched, and it was my task to get her to get used to a person being in close proximity and to gain some trust and eventually get a first touch, and then also get a halter on her head. So those were the tasks, and then from there it would go to getting them to let you touch them all over and pick up their feet and such and so on. So anyway, I had a lifetime of experience with horses, but I was new to Mustangs, and so I felt like I should know what to do, even though this was new for me. And I was in this pen, and I had done a couple of the things that I knew, and I was very, like I said, very new to it. So after I had done these couple of things, this little Mustang was just kind of looking at me. I was looking at her, and I didn't know what to do next. I didn't want to do the wrong thing. I didn't want to spook her. I didn't want to do too much or too little. So there was a lovely horse trainer in the pen next to me working with another little Mustang, and I said, "Hey, Cheyenne, I don't know what to do next." And she said, "Well, why don't you just share space?" And she didn't even have to explain to me what that was. It was just something pretty self-explanatory. So I did. I just let go of all my anxiety over doing something wrong. I let go of the thought that I should know what to do, that I should at least try something. I should be doing something. If I'm just standing there, if anybody sees me, they're going to think I don't know what I'm doing. All those things that had been going through my head. And I just shared space with this little filly, and oh my gosh, I'll never forget that experience, because I was open, just open to what the universe, God, the Creator might send my way, or that the horse may convey to me. And that was what was really important too, is that a lot of times if we just get quiet, if we're interacting with another being, they'll let us know what they need. But my post today isn't about, gentling wild Mustangs. I'm just using this because it was just such an aha moment for me, for myself. And I realized that when I don't know what to do, the best things I can do is just share space with myself. I don't need to be busy. I don't need to feel like I have to know what to do. I don't need to worry about if anybody's judging me or looking at me, or all the little voices that play in your head. So I realized that there are things I can do to just share space with myself. If I come and sit in the pasture, that's kind of fabulous because I'm also sharing space with my horses. And I try to clear my mind if I'm sitting down here, not think about too much, and just ideas will come to me. Like, for instance, I'm noticing that she's walking a little bit wonky today. Well, she took a little slide this morning that I happened to be a witness to. She kind of tumbled a little bit. So I'm making a mental note to keep an eye on her. But so this is one of the things I do for myself. And another thing that I do for myself is just work on a jigsaw puzzle, or I do a crossword puzzle. Things that occupy my mind and are, I think, creative on some level. Certainly creative thinking is involved. And it's amazing to me, especially if I have a specific problem, something I'm working on. I don't know what to do, and I sit down and work on a puzzle. It's just amazing to me that all of a sudden an answer will come. And it might not be that very same day. It might be randomly the next day, or it might be, sometimes it'll come after sleep, which is also a quiet way of, just letting your brain, your monkey brain, silence down. But I have a lot of things that I don't know the next step on right now with this aging and living alone. As I shared in my first somewhat lengthy video, I only very recently am living here alone. I live on a little 5-acre ranch property in the Sierra foothills, and I moved here just before COVID and didn't know a soul up here, but I was lucky in that my son was living with me, so I had someone here. And I've always lived with someone, but now he's moved on to this fabulous job, and and I am here alone. And COVID put a damper on a lot of the things I thought I was going to be doing up here, and some physical concern with my hip put a bit of a damper on, some of the things I thought I would be doing up here. So I was beating myself up a little bit, like saying, you should know what you're doing. You're wasting your time. You've got all this time now. You should be spending it wisely, right? You don't have to go to work. And so I was beating myself up, and I made all these big lists, like, oh, these are the things you could do in your spare times that are quote unquote productive or satisfying. And I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted. My silly goat is right here. And then I would I would rush through my chores, so I would have, be able to go back up to the house and get that list out and do something from that list. And half the time, or more than half the time, I just didn't feel like doing anything. And I would sit on my porch, or I would want to come down and be with the animals. And I realized that it was me needing to share space with myself. I needed to get quiet. I needed to just be okay with not being busy. So that's what I'm doing. And I wanted to share that with you, that it's valuable, that we don't need to label ourselves as lazy or unmotivated. You know, sometimes we're going through grief. I've lost both my parents within the last 5 years. I've had all three, I have several family members who are going through serious health concerns. I have a couple of friends going through some serious health concerns. I've lost a couple of dearly beloved barn cats. So there's a lot that can sidetrack us, and we don't need to keep busy to distract ourselves, and we don't need to always be producing something. Sometimes just being here in a pasture with a ridiculous goat is exactly the right thing to do. So I am thinking, though, I do know that I do want some solutions to how I can potentially be earning some money up here. And I am thinking about, some projects, creative projects that actually produce something aesthetic or beautiful, right? Like making something, because that always was a very big part of who I was. I was an art major in school. But at least I have realized that interacting with animals is creative, figuring out every day the best way to do chores dependent upon weather, feed situations, animal health, all these different things that come into play, my health or well-being, the lay of the land. So I have to be creative all the time about chores, and I do love that, but I want more than that in my creative life as well. So, but I don't know what it is. I've thought about crocheting. I used to do needlepoint. I used to do embroidery quite a bit, and those just don't resonate with me anymore. And I think that also having, to wear glasses at this point in my life, it makes those seem a little more challenging. So I've been thinking about drawing again. I had a arm injury that affected me for many, many years that I have never fully come back from. It was a volleyball injury, and so sometimes the thought of drawing or writing, physically writing, they get a little challenging for me. So anyway, I'm just now, see, what I'm doing in talking to you is I'm not just sharing space, but I'm talking to you guys. So I'm going to say goodbye now, and I'm going to just let my attention be pretty much nowhere, just here with these lovely beings who probably have some messages for me. They usually do. Thanks, Sunny. All right. Enjoy your day and share with me ways that you share space with yourself or with others in your life. Bye now.